He's the ghost with the most, babe. If you're looking for a bioexorcist, search no further, and all you need to do is say his name 3 times. This week, we cover Beetlejuice because you guys voted on it, and it could have been worse. Find out what we thought of this ultra-popular movie and if it wrecks our childhood. Welcome to Wreck My Podcast, where today we're talking about Beetlejuice? Beetlegoose? Bagweese?
Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice?
How do you actually say it?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, they said it twice. Just one more time. One more time. Here we go. Bring it around. So we're watching this movie that you guys voted on.
Yeah, you picked this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this movie at some point in their life.
Yeah.
But I'm here with my guest. He is strange and unusual. It's Cam.
It's a pretty standard thing that I get all the time.
Yeah, you're pretty strange and unusual. Daylight comes in. He want to go home. It's Joe.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
And I've seen The Exorcist about 176 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. I'm your host, Jordan. This movie, man. Let's watch the trailer so people can either be reminded or if there's that one single person who hasn't seen it in America.
I've never actually seen the trailer, so I don't even know what to expect from it.
I never saw the trailer either. It's a 1988 movie, so it's a 1988 trailer. Let's watch it.
Let's do it.
From the director of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Adam and Barbara are ghosts.
What's the good of being a ghost if you can't frighten people away?
Their house is being haunted by the living,
Maybe the house could use a little remodeling.
and they can't scare them into leaving.
They're dead. It's a little late to be neurotic.
So they're calling on Beetlejuice,
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
who's no ordinary ghost.
You don't want his help.
Can you be scary?
What do you think of this?
Now, the party's over,
You want somebody out of the house? I want to get somebody out of your house.
but the fun has just begun.
It's showtime.
Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun and party.
Not bad.
This is amazing.
Want a cigarette?
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah, here I come, baby.
He's guaranteed to put some life
Attention, Kingword shoppers.
in your afterlife. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
It's so 80s.
I know. It's like, so what do we do for this trailer? I don't know. Just throw a bunch of lines in and kind of tell them a little bit of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Basically.
not too much going on in this trailer. But this movie came out March 30th, 1988. It has a PG rating, even though they say the F word once in it, which I guess it's one of like 5 movies that was during the PG-13 era that still got away with some like cursing,
Okay.
like words that would not fly now getting
Yeah.
into a PG movie,
Yeah.
which I don't know. This movie was pretty morbid, so I can't imagine that throwing a few of those words in would have not raised it to PG-13.
Yeah, it's a little dark for a PG,
It's
I think.
very dark. Like, if
I
there
would-
was no cussing at all, I could see maybe it slided with the PG.
Yeah.
But the fact that they threw a lot of, there's prostitutes in it,
Yeah.
he was really handsy with people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how this got away with a PG.
No way.
But
yeah,
then
I
again,
could see it more
Airplane's
PG-13.
PG, and I think there's like boobs in that.
There
so
is.
yeah,
There's boobs and there's like the alluding to the blowjob with the
yeah.
blow up.
So it was a different time in the 80s. It was wild. Everyone
no
was
one
on
cared.
blow.
Everyone loved blow.
Yeah. So this had a
It was a good time.
this had a 15 the 1 year we were alive for it.
Yeah.
This had a $15 million budget. It grossed $74 million.
Okay.
Opening weekend had 8. So it was a good success. I think it was
Yeah.
10th grossing film of 10th highest grossing film of 1988.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of 1988 money.
That is. It's true because in today's money that would be well into like
Yeah.
the 130 to 150 range probably.
Yeah, and 88 movies were like $4.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Yeah.
I think $1 million of that budget went only to special effects, which is, and I guess that was too low, which is why Tim Burton decided to make it look very B-movie-esque.
Yeah.
Because that was one of my biggest complaints with this was I've seen Tim Burton's claymation style and like
And
what
it's
he can do.
incredible, yeah.
It's amazing. This looks subpar for what I expected of Tim Burton because rewatching it again, especially with the Blu-ray, you're kind of like,
yeah.
You lose some of that.
It's just like, man, you can do so good with claymation. Like, what happened with this one? But budget, it's what you got to do. Let's see. It has an 84% critic on Rotten Tomato and an 82% audience.
Oh, that's higher than I thought for critic.
Yeah, me too. So pretty much all the good responses praise it for its uniqueness and ability to try something new, even if concept is better than execution.
Right.
And then the few negative reviews were that its inability to execute properly. So they were almost talking about the same things, just your perception. Like one person was like, well, it wasn't executed really great, so negative. Where other people were like, well, it may not have been executed great, but at least it was unique. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically Tim Burton.
That's
everything
Tim
he
Burton
does.
movie.
It's true. It's true. They never look great. I mean, some do. So, like,
but I think it's all
Bride
it's all perception
is
again.
insanely good. But yeah, some of it is like A Nightmare Before Christmas is still a little rough around the edges.
Yeah,
but
he also didn't direct it.
No,
he did the art.
He wrote he wrote for that one. Actually, Michael McDowell, who wrote this story, wrote Nightmare Before Christmas with him too.
Okay.
He brought him back. So Tim Burton is the director of this movie. I mean, everyone kind of knows Tim Burton. Tim Burton-esque is an adjective we use in movies now. Before this movie, though, Pee-wee's Big Adventure was really his only critical success.
Okay.
He had a few shorts, Frank and Weenie, which is
big.
now a full-length film
feature.
and everything.
And lead animator on Fox and the Hound.
You're right. He was. I think we've brought that up on this podcast before. But yeah, so after Pee-wee's Big Adventure, he just started getting scripts thrown at him because he had such a success with that. And so this script came in, and I guess it was a lot more disturbing before he kind of had it rewrote to be less violent and less disturbing. We'll get into that later, though.
Okay.
But, he did Batman, Michael Keaton in Batman.
Yeah.
He did Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd, and everyone's favorite Planet of the Apes reboot from the 2000s. I'm pretty sure Glenn Shaddix was in that movie, too. This dude is showing up everywhere. So Glenn Shaddix, he played Otho, just like the eccentric friend of the main couple. We've talked about him in our Dunstan Checks In episode, our Demolition Man, our Rocket Power episode. This guy is everywhere.
He's
in the
a Wreck
80s
My
and
Podcast
90s.
staple.
He really is. But you know what's sad? I didn't know he passed away in like 2010 or 11.
I was just going to say, let's get him on the show.
That's probably why we haven't seen him in anything.
But you want to know what was amazing at his tribute?
What?
They played the Deo song.
Did they really?
The Banana Boat song, at his memorial. I was like, all right then. So here we go. Michael McDowell, he wrote the story. This was a way more violent and graphic story before they had the rewrites. Now, they made it a little bit more lighthearted. In the original, the Matlins, the Adam Baldwin and Gina David.
Did you call him Adam Baldwin and Gina David?
Oh my gosh, Alec, yes. I
heard that too.
Adam is his name in the movie. I'm sorry. So Adam and Barbara, I got completely, I was going with the halvesies, what cool. Oh, wait, what? What's on? So Adam and Barbara, the Matlins, their death was way more intense. I guess you saw like her arms being broken in half and stuff when they fell out and stuff like
it was gruesome.
Yeah, it was very gruesome. And then I guess Beetlejuice, instead of trying to marry Lydia, was trying to rape her. So
that took a turn.
Yeah, there was really no redeeming quality of Beetlejuice in the original script. He was supposed to be like this demonic character with like wings and stuff, and he was just like a straight demon who wanted to evil thing that wanted to rape and pillage and just destroy human life and stuff like that.
I'm glad they fixed it.
So they made it way more they made it way more lighthearted. I don't think it would have gotten the success it did if they went that route. But let's talk about the cast here. Alec Baldwin, Adam Baldwin. He played Adam Maitland. How do you pronounce their names? I don't think they ever say it in the movie.
Maitland.
I thought it was Maitland too.
Okay, Maitland. You know him from like 30 Rock, The Departed, The Aviator. He was on a few episodes of Friends. Boss Baby. So Alec Baldwin's a pretty well-known actor. Then we have Gina David. She played Barbara Maitland. She's in the newest episode of Glow. For those of you that watch Glow.
Is she?
Yeah, she's not a main character, but she's a recurring character.
Is she the one that shows up at that owns the
She owns
the casino?
MGM, yeah.
Okay.
The Departed. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. She was Stuart Little's mom in all the Stuart Little movies.
Oh, that's
Mrs.
right.
Little. She was Thelma, I think, in Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
She was one of them.
I teach her son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Get her on the podcast. I know she's still alive.
I'll try.
And she was in The Fly as well. You got Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. He played Batman. He was in Spider-Man. He's in The Founder. He's in Birdman. He's in a lot of movies with Man in the title. Mr. Mom.
Do you know the original title of this movie was Manteljuice?
Manteljuice, yeah. I'm
Sounds
bummed.
like a prime candidate for September.
I'm bummed that they didn't go with that one. Ryan Buds told us that they were originally going to call this movie
The Book of the Dead.
No, the Handbook
the
for
Handbook
the Recently
for
Deceased.
the recently deceased.
I've
thing.
heard of that.
I didn't find that anywhere in my research. I found a lot of other names they were going to call it, but that one, which I thought would have been the best name for this movie.
Did Ryan make that up?
He might have made that up. But then again,
Was
Ryan,
it a trivia question?
it could have been a weird, but we all know Ryan's trivia questions aren't always 100% factual. So, we have Winona Ryder, who played Lydia Dietz.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Winona. Everyone knows her now from Stranger Things, but she was in Heathers, which is a great movie.
That movie's incredible.
And she was in Edward Scissorhands as well. We have Catherine O'Hara, who played her stepmom, Delia Dietz. She's the Home Alone mom, and she's Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas. We have her. She's in Frankenweenie as well. She's in a lot of Tim Burton stuff now. She's in a series of Unfortunate Events, the one that came out on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And she's on Schitt's Creek, which a lot of people like Schitt's Creek. I've never really watched it.
It's good.
It's amazing.
She's apparently a bigger role on that.
Yeah, Tim Burton's one of those directors that like to use the same actors in all the
Yeah,
films.
very, very true.
Like if this was made later, it probably would have been Johnny Depp playing
somewhere.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, exactly. Which we'll get into the whole Michael Keaton thing later. I don't know how I feel about it. Anyway, Jeffrey Jones, he played Charles Dietz, the principal on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which we've covered on this podcast. He was in Howard the Duck, which reminded me, that's got to be on here soon.
Yeah, we haven't watched that at all.
I've never watched it.
Oh, dude, it's terrible.
And I know it has that stigma about it, but I really want to watch Howard the Duck on this. And he's also in Stuart Little as well, so him and Catherine O'Hara have that in common. And then Danny Elfman did the music. If you don't know Danny Elfman, where have you been forever?
Learn.
Yeah, he's in so.
Where have you been?
He literally, him and John Williams are like probably the two biggest names.
John William Scott.
John William Scott, yeah.
Key. John William Scott Key.
Yes, that guy.
And Michael Key.
Michael, yeah.
That's his full name.
That's his full name. So, guys, had you ever seen this before?
Yes.
Of course.
Of course. Who hasn't?
My dad.
Your dad got you into it.
My dad has never seen this.
Oh, your dad's never seen it. So he's the one guy on the Lonely Island.
Yep.
There with Adam Sandberg.
I told him we were podcasting about this today, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I never saw it." And I was like, "What? Really?"
That's
like,
so weird.
He's like, "Yeah, don't really want to." I was like, "Okay, man. Like, go for
when
it."
you've gone this long now, you've gone 21 years. You might as well not.
You should.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So when was the last time you guys watched this before this one?
I watched this, I think 2 years ago when I showed it to my students during like October.
Okay, cool.
But
mine was
2
probably
years ago.
about 2 years ago too, somewhere in that
Yeah,
range.
somewhere in the 5-year range.
Yeah, typically, you try and watch this maybe not every year at Halloween,
Every couple
but
years.
every couple
Every couple
years.
years.
So this one on. What did you think of it coming back to it now?
It's vintage Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought about it. Is that it felt like his most recent movies. It felt like Tim Burton making a Tim Burton movie rather than just Tim Burton making a movie.
Yeah.
And this felt like Tim Burton making a movie.
Yeah. Like when I think of Tim Burton, this is like one of the first movies that come to mind. Like this like classic Tim Burton-esque T.
Yeah. Black and white stripes everywhere and sharp pointy teeth.
Exactly.
I agree.
There's a lot of claymation.
Well, there's a huge aesthetic to any Tim Burton movie where it's almost cartoonish and ghoulish.
Yeah.
And
because
it's monochromatic.
Part of CalArts animation.
Yeah, it's very true. So the one thing that really bugged me, though, it didn't bug me. What was weird is the sand scenes, right? The Jupiter sand scenes where the sandworm is and everything, which I didn't know was supposed to be Jupiter. I guess that's supposed to be Jupiter.
I didn't know it was supposed to be Jupiter.
Yeah.
Do they even say Jupiter?
It doesn't say that. Just me doing all this research, I'm learning a lot of things
that it's on Jupiter.
Yeah, that they're unspoken things that only someone who's super into it knows what the canonical things are in this
Jupiter
movie.
is a gas giant. There's no land on Jupiter.
Exactly. I don't get what this whole thing is. I guess there's rings of Jupiter, which originally when they leave their house, it was supposed to be this endless black where you saw the cogs of time moving. I don't know how they would have got that. But anyway, the Jupiter scenes look awful. And the faces that they make are awful.
Yes.
Yet for some reason, it feels right.
It does.
I don't know what it is. It bugged me. I'm like, this is ridiculous and stupid, but I think that I like it.
It's because the rest of it looks awful and stupid, but fits with the world.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
once he made that the stylistic choice, the choice of the look for the entire movie, it just all fell into place.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, for the most part, the effects are not great. The claymation feels clunky compared to some of his other work, but it fits on this. Especially, I don't know, for the time and for what he was doing. I get it. It for people that maybe watching it for their first time now probably won't like it if you know Tim Burton's newer stuff.
Yeah.
But I think having watched it when we were younger. When was the first time you guys watched this movie?
I was like 11.
11?
Yeah, I was a kid as well.
Yeah, me too. I
But
was like 11 or 12.
That brings me to a question. Did you like this movie as a kid?
No, I didn't get it.
Neither did I.
One thing
I did
didn't
not
understand
like
it
this
at all.
movie at all.
One thing I've never liked is Beetlejuice as a character.
Same.
Never liked him. I don't get why people are upset. Like, people put him on a pedestal like they do Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
I get Jack Skellington because he's a spooky dude who's, like, nice at heart, but he's like,
Yeah.
that's my job. Where Beetlejuice, I'm like, you're a dick.
He's just
Like,
a dick the whole time.
I don't...
And he's gross.
He's gross.
He's gross.
He's
He is
like, I
gross.
would not let him around anyone.
No.
It's got like mold growing on him.
But not even that. He's
Yeah.
gross just like how he, like, handles women and talks to people and does
He's
stuff.
a bad dude.
Yeah, I don't get the redeeming qualities of him at all. So I just have never liked him as a character, which makes me happy that he's only in 17 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And which is more than they were originally because he tested so well with screen audiences that they added a few scenes in that weren't supposed
Did he just
to be
test
there.
well because it was like 1980s funny?
Yeah, in 1980s funny and Michael Keaton. People
Yeah.
loved him because of
Huge
Mr.
name.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really big then.
Also, it would have been very different if anyone else played him.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton made the role.
Yeah.
Like Sammy Davis Jr. is who Tim Burton wanted to play this role. And
It'd
yeah,
be
it'd be weird.
weird.
And he was going to be a more laid back, kind of suave womanizer of a character rather than a touch her butt.
That was a really good Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So guys, this wreck your childhood because I guess we're putting this under the banner of childhood. Maybe Halloween. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't like it when I was a kid, so watching it now, like, no.
It didn't wreck anything.
Didn't
'cause
wreck
you didn't
it.
care
It just
for
kind of
it.
remained constant. Like,
Yeah.
this movie, I still don't think it's good, but, like, it's important, I guess.
I in the catalog of Tim Burton, it is
Yeah.
an important
Yeah.
entry. Joe, how about you?
I would agree. It didn't wreck my childhood, but I would put this more on if it wrecked my teen years because I did not like this movie at all when I saw it as a kid.
Yeah.
But as I grew older and would watch this more, each time I watched it, I liked it more and more and more. And so I like this movie. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
What do you
But-
think you like more about it now? You're getting the humor, like the weird composition of horror and humor mixed together, kind of?
Yeah, I get a lot more of the jokes. Also, as a kid, the claymation stuff scared me.
Yeah.
And what about the head dude, the shrunken head guy?
Oh, that thing freaked me out. when I was
Yeah.
little.
For when I was a kid, it was the giant mouth with,
Oh,
the
with the
eyes
eyeballs
and
and the
like
tongue.
that bird looking
Yeah.
thing.
Which reminds me of Spy
Momo.
versus Spy.
Oh,
it's for Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yes.
The scene with
Large
the truck
Marge.
driver.
Yeah, Large
That
Marge.
part always
Large
terrified
Marge
me as a
scared me
kid.
too.
So
It is creepy.
When was the last time you saw the Large Marge scene?
oh, it's been a long
Few
time.
years
Dude,
ago.
not scary at all.
Oh, I'm sure
I watched
not
it,
anymore.
I watched it again, and I was like, oh man, this is the scene that freaked me out. And I was getting all anxious, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I don't want to see it again. And it happened, and I was just like, oh.
I think what's scarier still is Who Framed Roger Rabbit when John Lithgow's
that-
character gets crushed and the eyes
yeah,
bulge out and
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Now, see, not even that scared me just because, I mean, there's cartoons involved.
That's true.
But-
You're thinking of it in a cartoon
Yeah,
way.
Large Marge scared me as a kid, and I didn't like Beetlejuice because of all the claymation scared me as well. Once I got older, obviously I wasn't scared of claymation, so
Yeah.
one, I wasn't afraid of the movie, got the jokes, and all around just kind of liked it more. Plus, I
Yeah.
love the gothness of it.
Yeah, it's very goth.
it is really goth.
This movie is also very morbid in some of the jokes they make, like everyone who commits suicide is a bureaucratic worker, and
Yep.
the receptionist with her little accident.
Yep.
It's pretty morbid in those sense. Here, for people that love this movie, let me wreck a few things for you because that's our namesake here. We like to wreck things.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Strike him down.
Strike him down.
So first off, how is Jane allowed to sell this home when they didn't want her to sell it in the first place, and they don't have a will? Like, how is she getting control of selling this house?
because the entire house is made out of a special kind of wood, Hollywood.
Oh my gosh.
It's they didn't have any like offspring or any other.
But
like,
here's
family.
the thing: did they really not have any family in there? These are two early 30-year-old people. They didn't. You can't. You're telling me both sets of parents are dead. They didn't have. Any, we know they don't have kids, but they didn't have any siblings or anything. Like they're literally no friends, no nothing. They're just the two of them, and that's it. In this tiny town.
It's plausible,
but
however,
not very possible.
I don't think it's very possible.
Well, how much time had passed since they died?
167,000 years.
No, the time did not pass. Like there wasn't a lot of time.
No,
because they saw their funeral hadn't
even
even happened yet by the time they realized they were dead.
Yeah, and then they didn't for a while. They didn't realize they were dead.
Yeah, so I think that I don't think a lot of time passed. Anyway. Also, the dead football players in the Department of the Dead, why would the dead football players need to use the bathroom? He asks where the bathroom is. The dead don't need to use the bathroom?
You got to adjust the jockstrap.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't want to do that in front of the weird throat lady.
Weird throat lady.
What's her name? Juno?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
Juno, the weird throat lady.
I still like the girl that was sawed in half.
Oh, the magician.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was cool.
Now, did you know that the bottom half of her legs were Tim Burton's girlfriend at the time?
I actually had.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It was a weird cameo.
I know, right? One thing I hate.
Especially since Michael Keaton's like all up on her legs.
Yeah.
One thing I hate. Why does Beetlejuice need to appear and disappear when someone says his name 3 times, but no one else has that curse? Like, what is this thing? Like, why does he have this? They never explain it. Give me a little bit of explanation.
I feel like it's a curse, though. Like,
but
it's
for what? No one else is cursed, and the people that are cursed is the room of the dead people that get exorcised and stuff. Like, what the heck?
I think it's a curse that has to deal with when he was a human, because I doubt he was a good guy when he was a human.
But we know that he committed suicide because they say people who commit suicide go to civil works, right? And Juno said he used to be my assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
But she never explained why he left and like why he has this weird thing where when you say his name. Right?
And I never thought of that.
And to that
I just
point,
accepted it blindly.
Yeah, right?
Same.
You just accept it. But to that point, why does he then need to get married to make the curse go away? How's that a thing? And second off, how is it legal that she's not consenting? But yet, like, they have all these...
because she's marrying a ghost.
But the thing is, they have all these hierarchies in place, right? We see that they write newspapers. So they have dead journalists.
Right.
We see that they have, like, the Department of the Dead. So they have a government and bureaucracy in place.
Yeah.
Like, they have all these hierarchies in place, yet the priest is allowed to marry someone without consent from that person. That doesn't make sense whatsoever to me. Also, what doesn't make sense to me is if you have to say his name 3 times to get him to go away, why don't they just go, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice? Whisper it so he doesn't hear and know that they're saying his name, and then he goes away. I don't get that. Why does Barbara the first time go Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice really fast to get away? But then when she's trying to marry Lydia, they're like Beetlejuice. Like they're really prolonging. You have to give them time. Like no,
you got to fill the time slot.
None of it is consistent whatsoever. Also, in the Handbook of the Dead, which is for the recently deceased, right?
Yes, right?
Handbook for the recently deceased. Why is there instructions on a seance to summon dead people and a book for dead people who are already dead?
For help.
No!
Just so you can get some guidance, too.
Isn't that what the whole point of going to, like, what was basically the DMV for the dead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point of them going there?
Jordan just had to turn
I had to turn the air on
because he's getting
I'm
so
heated. No, because here's the thing. No, because you wouldn't get a manual for a radio like they joke this is and expect instructions in there on how to put together your microwave. So you wouldn't get a handbook for being dead and have instructions on there for people who are living to bring the dead back. They're already dead.
I guess that's true.
They don't need to bring the dead back. They're in the land of the dead.
Maybe it was just like, what if you want to have your loved ones reconnect with you?
Or if it was someone whose spirit was no longer in this dead dimension and had passed on.
Stop trying to cover for Tim Burton. Okay, how can Ortho read it and understand better than Adam and Barbara in one night? The dude has the book for one night, and he's like a master of it. Yet Barbara and Adam have this book for months and can't figure out what the heck to do.
Maybe they don't know how to read.
And how does the book actually show up to living people? Why is that a thing? You have all this magic and supernaturalness, yet you can't keep the book out. Like, they can't be seen, but the book can be seen?
Like a teenager can find it.
My God, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Why not just throw objects around to scare them away? Barbara and Adam, why are you sitting here trying to figure out things? Like,
you know why?
Just freaking throw something.
Because Paranormal Activity hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
But they prove they can interact. They prove they can interact with stuff.
They can interact with the
Also-
living and with inanimate objects.
Also, I was going somewhere with this, and I totally forgot. Oh, yes. Second thing. So they try and scare the.
This is like the 38th.
This is like the 38th thing. They try and scare the Dietas away, but the Dietas can't see them, right?
Right.
So then later in the movie, when Juno's like, "How are you gonna scare them?" and then they shape their faces weird and everything. Yeah, that's great.
They still
They
can't see
still
you.
can't see you. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Come on. Also, how did they drown? Because that fall was not very high, and like
No.
you couldn't just like get out of. Their windows were down, for God's sakes. Like you couldn't just swim out of your car.
No, probably not.
Like, come on.
Did they
Second
have
off,
seatbelts on?
I don't know.
I don't
Did they have a
think
hard time
so.
trying to unbuckle them?
Also, that's the most brutal dog I've ever seen in my life. Second, why did the Matlins even drive when their shop is literally less than a quarter of a mile down the hill? Like, the driving distance was nothing.
So you don't have to walk up the hill.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Well, you know what? If there was a sketchy bridge like that on my way to home, I would probably be walking.
I drive to the Dollar Tree that's just down my hill.
I was gonna say if anyone can understand that, it's anyone living in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I guess, but still. Anyway, if suicide makes you a bureaucrat, what death makes you a prostitute? Because there's prostitutes in the death world, I guess.
Prostituting.
Maybe
Death by
prostituting.
prostituting.
Yeah, like you
I don't want to know.
you got too kinky and something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
How is okay? Did Maxie Dean and his wife die? Because when he smashes them through the roof, we never see him again.
And my answer to that is yes.
I think they did. Also, why are they so
did.
happy? They're like so ecstatic to get like smashed through the roof.
Wouldn't you be happy if you had the sweet, sweet release of death?
I guess. I am utterly alone. Could it? Okay. Okay. Here's the next thing.
Okay.
Getting close to the end here. Beginning of the movie, Adam goes into the Saturn Jupiter world, whatever
Yeah.
they're at, and then he comes back. It's been like 30 seconds. She's like, "You've been gone 2 hours." So obviously,
It's a line in the witch in the wardrobe thing.
yeah, minutes there are like hours back
Yeah,
in the real
reverse
world. So at
wardrobe.
the end of the movie, Beetlejuice sends Barbara to Saturn. She comes back 20 seconds later with a sandworm. That means she would have had to been in there for 0.000001 of a second, because seconds in there are hours in
She
the
could
real
have popped
world.
in and just went, "Wormy," and then Worm showed up.
But even a second would have been like 20 minutes according
Right,
to their
right.
logic from beforehand.
Right.
And only 20 seconds had passed in the real world.
Maybe
Nope. Also, anyone else never get that weird moment in the Department of the Dead where the people are watching them? Did you see that scene where in the window behind them there's like a bunch of people that were watching Barbara and you didn't see that part?
No.
Oh, okay. I always thought that was weird. Apparently, that's supposed to be a bunch of dead people in a movie theater, but when you're dead, you have no movies to watch. You're
So you just
literally
watch
just watching
other
people with
dead
their
people?
daily lives. Yeah, other dead people. And it was supposed to be mirroring exactly the audience watching. So, like, you're looking at an audience opposite you watching the other end of this movie you're watching.
Interesting.
Never
that's
got
interesting,
that.
but it's a little. I think it might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Also, last thing here. Why can't Adam read the word deceased? He said, recently diseased. You are a full-grown man, sir. Diseased and deceased do not look similar
Jordan, you
enough.
couldn't read bourgeoisie.
It was bourgeois,
Bourgeois, and you read
and that's
Burgos.
French, and that's French.
Burgeis.
English is
Burgeis.
English. That was
Burgeis.
French. Burgeisi. Burgosi.
Burgosi.
You know what? That's all I have to complain about this movie.
Burgos.
That's the segment called 10 Minutes of Jordan Complaining About a Movie.
It worked.
Yeah.
I liked it.
But you know what else is
Did you guys write all that down?
Yeah, it was the most ranty you've been in a while.
I know, but the next thing is another Jordan segment. Oh. Oh, yes, it's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly. This movie is an early warning to today's generation that reading the terms and conditions of everything will keep you out of trouble. So, there you go. I didn't let you guys speak. Do you have anything you didn't like or like about the movie? What's your favorite parts? What is your least favorite parts? All that. I kind of went on a rant there.
Yeah, I'm just with you.
Yeah? With me all the way? Ditto?
Yeah, after you bring all that out, I was like, yeah.
It's hard to rationalize a lot of this away.
Yeah.
True.
I like the claymation. I like the art. I like the weird stuff. I don't really like we said before, I don't like Beetlejuice as a character. I think a lot of it, I really actually don't like the banana boat scene.
I was going to ask, do you guys like that as much as hype as that scene has?
I hate that scene. It's stupid.
I think it looks terrible.
It looks bad.
I absolutely love that.
Do
scene.
you? I don't think
Why?
it's funny.
I think it's great. One, I love the song.
I was going to say, I love the song.
It's just, I don't know. It's funny to me.
1 foot. Oh no, it's 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
I just love everything about it, like how it starts, and she's just like doing everything. She's Dale, Dale, and just I love that scene.
I don't know. I think my favorite part of that scene is at the end when the shrimp becomes hands. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And, like, grab them. Yeah, I don't know.
All the dance moves, using the bucket as like a drum.
What about at the end with Shake Senora?
Like the song, the whole like the furniture, like dancing, her being up in like the middle of the air. That's a little weird for me, but I still like the song.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a lot shorter of a scene, actually.
Was it really?
Than they made at the end, because they also added in the scene with Beetlejuice in the waiting room at the end. That wasn't supposed to be there either, because that brings up a whole nother question, like, did he die again?
Yeah,
like, was he
dead.
not dead? Because now there's conspiracy theories about him having been a living person this whole time, which we'll get to later in Conspiracy
then how could
Corner.
he be in that little, like...
We'll get to it later in Conspiracy Corner. But what we're going to get to now is the plot breakdown. This is the plot breakdown. So this is going to be a little bit of shorter plot breakdown because I assume everyone has seen this movie. It's very popular and stuff.
Basically.
And it's not like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's more a comedy, so it's jokes rather than plot really being played out. So let's get into it.
We open up with a refrigerator. You open it up. There's a big gallon of juice. Inside it, a beetle. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice displays across the screen.
Yes.
Sparkles and rainbows fly by.
You pour a glass. It's full of Beetlejuice. She drinks it, says, this is good Beetlejuice, 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then her stomach turns into, guess what? Beetlejuice.
Oh.
I watched this.
Now, you said this was a comedy. Do you actually think this is a comedy?
100%. I think it's more a
supposed to
comedy
be.
than it is
But-
a horror film.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a horror film, but I don't think it exactly falls under the comedy umbrella or the...
Why they make so many jokes in this movie, half of them don't even land.
Yeah, I just think it's just not funny.
It's like
Maybe that's what it is.
they're
Maybe it's
trying
just half the
too
jokes don't land.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying too hard to be funny.
It's 1988 funny.
Yeah, it's like satirical, but not satirical enough that people get it.
Yeah.
So we do open with a creepy version of Deo.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, man. That opening song is still one of my favorite opening songs, though.
You mean
like,
Danny Elfman?
Yeah, the Danny Elfman.
It fits really well with the opening.
Oh, yeah. It's so great.
So we meet the Matlins. They're having a staycation, if you will, to fix their house.
Nice.
They get into a car accident because there's a dog that's a giant dick that turns them into a car accident.
Yeah.
And now they have the ultimate staycation where they're stuck in their house forever for 125 years.
Forever.
They get the handbook for the recently deceased, but decide to do a bunch of trial and error things. So they end up going to Jupiter and finding out that they can't leave their house.
I still don't buy that it's Jupiter.
I don't know.
Can't.
And sandworms live on Jupiter.
Yeah,
for
you
some
didn't know there's
reason.
sandworms in Jupiter?
I didn't know that Jupiter had sand.
Well, have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Well, okay. There's a new family that moves into the house, it's the Dietzes. They move in and change everything, so the Matlins are trying to scare them away, but they fail miserably.
Yeah.
They're having such trouble, so they decide to go talk to their death caseworker, who tells them, hey, figure it out on your own. But don't call Beetlejuice, because
Don't
he's
do it.
bad business. The Dietz's daughter, Lydia, she ends up seeing the Matlins because she is strange and unusual.
Yeah, what a spooky girl. She
Yeah.
wears all black.
All
Yeah.
black and a veil made of black.
Yep.
It's my kind of girl.
What a
I
spooky girl.
guess.
Did you have a
Winona-
crush on her too when you were younger?
Oh, yeah.
I was
me
going to
too.
ask, was Winona Ryder supposed to be attractive when she was younger? Like, I never
Oh,
had a
like
crush on Winona Ryder.
Beetlejuice, a little bit, not terribly
But
much.
Heathers?
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, yeah.
I
Major
liked her
crush.
more in Edward
Major crush.
Scissorhands, which didn't they put a bunch of like makeup on her for the scene she's supposed to be an adult?
Yes.
Yeah,
They tried to
because
age
that was
her with
her
makeup and it
yeah.
looked weird.
Yeah, it does look weird. That's a movie we should watch for this podcast.
I love that
too.
movie.
I like it too, but I haven't seen it in a while.
Can we talk about how awesome that model was of like the town.
But also, why is that
Yeah.
his hobby? Like, is that a thing people do?
Yeah, people totally do modeling
do
like
they?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
It
huge.
looks great.
Yeah.
I
Haven't you
love
seen
it.
the people who like make their mailbox like a model of their house?
That's
I mean,
true,
what
yeah.
else would you do before, like, I don't know,
Video
Xbox?
games?
Masturbate.
Yeah, that's probably what he did on the all over
Masturbate
the
and
house.
models.
Yeah.
The 2 M's and the
M&M.
Matlins.
M&M.
M&M, triple M. So anyway, the Matlins decide to talk to Beetlejuice to get some help, but he's a real handsy and shady kind of guy, so they're like, not going to use him.
I hate the goo on his mouth.
Oh, the goo is awful. And so they decide to possess a dinner party then and choreograph the scene to Deo.
Yeah,
which I'm
buddy.
also like, that's a lot of know-how for you guys to get out of nowhere when you were having such trouble beforehand with doing this thing.
Well,
But
they've been reading the handbook.
sure.
Yeah, maybe there's a whole segment in there.
But the thing is, it doesn't scare them. It actually, they're like, wow, this is really cool. We could monetize this. So they try to get Lydia to talk to them and get
And
them
they can
like
wear
involved.
any sheet they want.
Any sheet they want. Yeah. And so, fun
Well,
fact.
like that's basically like their whole thing. Like they're trying to scare them the entire time, but
And
the
it keeps
entire time
backfiring.
they're just getting more and more enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Beetlejuice then ends up scaring the family with his shenanigans. I don't get why that was a scene. Like, why did he just pop up as a snake and scare them for the heck of it? Like, I don't get that scene.
Because he's unpredictable.
Yeah.
But he wasn't ever allowed to do it until they hired him, but they also didn't hire him. They said his name 3 times. Oh, but then she had to say his name 3 times again
get him
Yeah.
to go
after
away.
that. You're right, because she said home, home, home instead of... Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You got
Whoa,
one,
we
Burton.
got you.
You got one, Burton. I have like 20.
We should send this to Burton.
We really should. Do you think Tim Burton would be on the podcast?
Yeah, I can ask him.
Good old Timmy B?
Yeah, I can ask
Yeah.
him.
What do you teach his kid to?
No.
We did go to Cal Arts just up the
did.
street.
We
Yeah.
should. I should reach out to him.
Just give it a shot.
I should give it a shot. I should really. So there's another podcaster, and I know for a fact that they don't get as many listens as we do.
Right.
But they seem to get a lot of people on their podcast. And I'm like, maybe I just got to start throwing things out there.
A lot of
and
people
someone will say yes.
Just say yeah because
Yeah.
they don't care.
and we
All you
live
gotta-
in L.A. It's
And-
not like we
Yeah.
couldn't meet him somewhere
Yeah.
and do it live.
I
Yeah.
mean, what's Tim Burton up to right now?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Although isn't
a bunch of coke.
that.
You think still?
Oh yeah.
Also, I think that they have announced in the past year that they are in actual production in some way or another of a Beetlejuice 2.
I feel like that's
Really?
been
Yeah.
something that's been rumored for
No, it's been rumored,
like
but
years.
At a Comic-Con, I think in either 2018 or 2017, I'm almost positive that someone confirmed it. Like that worked
Really?
at the network, that worked at WB or whatever network has the rights right now.
I don't think that would work.
I don't think
Like
so
I don't
either.
think it works in today's
But hey,
time
we're
for, as
getting
like a new movie.
But we're getting another Ghostbusters, and we're going to see how that goes.
Which we
Not
also don't need.
don't need it, but this one may work. Who knows? I don't know.
I think it's way too late.
I think it is too.
Aren't we getting
Maybe
like
if
another...
it came out in the 90s.
We're getting like
but
another Top Gun, too.
Yeah, I'm also not gonna watch that.
I never liked Top Gun
No,
anyway.
Top Gun's one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, sorry. For all our Top
Sounds
Gun
like we're
fans out there.
Going into the danger zone here.
Down. Did it take your breath away?
Yeah, best part of that movie is the homoerotic volleyball scene.
That I thought you were going to say when Goose dies.
Oh yeah, also that part.
Also,
Bang.
goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
Yep.
Do you know you could eat where they filmed the CD bar scene in San Diego? It's a place called Kansas City Barbecue. It's right across the street from the Hyatt, right on the waterfront down in San Diego. If you're going to Comic-Con,
That's very
go check it out.
specific.
It's a great barbecue place. Anytime I work in San Diego, I go eat there. It's great. Go
Really?
check it out.
Alright.
Yeah.
Good
It's
to know.
Shout
real-
out Kansas City Barbecue.
It's real dirty on the inside, which means you know they make good barbecue,
That
and it's
does mean it's
surprising
good, yeah.
that I eat there.
Okay. It sounds
Yeah.
like a my
It's-
me
it's
and Joe
good enough.
spot.
Yeah, it's
I'm
good
in.
enough that
Yeah.
I eat there with it being that dirty.
You got
Alright.
sawdust on the floor?
No sawdust. I always sit outside because I don't want to see the inside in the kitchen because then I have to think. I have to think about what it looks like back there. Anyway, back to the movie. The Matlins and Lydia grow fond of each other, so they have this like familial bond.
Yeah.
So the Dietzes do this weird spirit summoning thing that forces the Matlins to kind of like show up to them, but in doing so, it's killing them even though they're dead. I guess it's like depleting their death force or something. I don't know.
It's like in Back to the Future where they fade away.
Yeah,
because
pretty
it's
much.
like that thing.
But they end up not being able to speak.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
like, it's not good for an audio podcast for me to whisper something, so I had to throw a little bit of like, but they say nothing.
Yeah.
So because it's killing them, Lydia decides to go to Beetlejuice for help, and he says he'll save them as long as Lydia marries him. So she goes, cool, let's do it. So they stop. The Matlins then are able to stop Beetlejuice before he marries her, though, with a sandworm.
Yep.
That had two mouths. Kind of weird. Fun fact here. That scene where it's like the mouth and a mouth comes out of the mouth, that had to be removed for it to be on the Disney Channel. One of the things that had to be removed was the mouth coming out of the mouth. Also, the F word had to be removed.
But that's a big one. But why double mouths? Why
because it was copywriting from Alien.
Maybe. No. I don't know.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Do you think that Ridley Scott was like, of all the things I want, I'm going to copyright Xenomorph, and I'm going to copyright
Little Mouth.
the Little Mouth.
I just imagine that Little Mouth is like, hey guys,
Hold on.
I'm Little Mouth. So the Matlins stop Beetlejuice, and everyone ends up living in the house together. And we end with the shake, 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 Senora, shake your body right. Shake, 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 Senora. Drink some Beetlejuice tonight.
Work, senora. Work your body line. work, senora.
Work it all the time or something, I think.
Jump in the line. Rock your body and fine. Okay, I believe you.
Everyone, that song was popularized by Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide over
Mr.
here.
305.
Yeah.
305. Dale. What's
that guy been up to?
Probably still making just as much music, but we're not 21 and in Vegas every weekend anymore, so we don't hear it.
When I went to my friend
Music in
Celine's,
Florida.
my friend Celine from work, I went to her wedding, and she's Cuban, and 80% of the music at her wedding was Pitbull.
Oh, God.
So he's just still making music to the Florida culture.
That's got to be the equivalent of like a
Journey?
Mexican person saying, I'm going to go to Taco Bell for good Mexican music. That's like the equivalent of someone from Cuba actually being like, you know, good Cuban music? Pitbull.
But he's Mr. Worldwide.
He's everywhere. He's all the way to Ibiza.
Is that a place?
Ibiza? Yeah, it's where they have all the crazy raves. Where is it? In the United Arab Emirates or something?
It's off of Spain.
It's off of Spain,
I don't know where
So it's an island off of Spain.
They reference it a lot in EDM music because that's like,
because it's like the
there.
biggest
Another
rave and
reason
drug
why I
culture.
missed that, 'cause I don't listen to
there
EDM
you go.
at all.
There you go. And I pronounced it correctly, I believe.
You did. Ibiza.
Okay, Ibiza, because it's spelled Ibiza, and I just call it
Ibiza.
Ibiza.
And that is not correct.
I have a new.
Oh, it's the Ibiza Peninsula?
Yeah, the Ibiza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I know that.
Yeah, I have a new
Segment.
jingle. No, not segment.
Oh, a new jingle.
It's the fun fact segment, but I have a jingle for it, which I forgot what I did. Oh, I remember what I did for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here we go. You ready for this? What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh, yeah. What is facts? Baby, they're fun. They're fun. Oh, yeah.
What does Madison do when you do this?
I do them here after work.
Oh,
So she's not
okay,
around.
okay.
So, yeah,
And she doesn't listen, so she
and she
doesn't even get to hear him.
She doesn't hear all the stupid. Believe me, if there's no more stupid things she can know about me, she's gonna end up leaving me. So, so here's your fun facts. Oh, what's happening on the football game or the baseball game? What's happening on the baseball game?
Dodgers are losing 5-1 right now in the 7th, but Jock Peterson just hit a foul ball that was this far away from the chalk, and they were checking to see if it was an actual double or not.
Tune in next week for sports that happened
2 days
in the
ago.
past.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I listened to the podcast today.
So
that was really funny.
I have a million fun facts. Like, I thought this was going to be a quick episode, so I was like, it's Beetlejuice. What's there to talk about?
Yeah.
I have so much to talk about. All right, let's start with some fun facts. The studio wanted to call the movie House Ghosts. And Tim Burton, as a joke, said, why don't we just call it Scared Sheetless? And the movie production studio said, that's a great idea. And they'd be like, no, we're calling it Beetlejuice.
Wow.
They wanted to call it Scared Sheetless.
Sheetless.
Yeah. Michael Keaton ad-libbed the majority of his lines.
I believe it.
Yeah. There was very few lines that they made him say. When Adam and Barbara are in the office, a voice on the PA system announces Flight 409 is arriving at Gate 3. United Airlines Flight 409 crashed into a mountain in Wyoming on October 6, 1955, killing all passengers and crew aboard. At the time, it was one of the worst plane crashes in history. 3 plane crashes in 1955 had a total of 66 casualties. To this day, no one knows why it crashed. Fun facts.
Fun. Don't hurt me no more.
No more. All the people in the waiting room and in the office are in the same condition as when they died, and the way they died is shown clearly. However, the Matlins, who drowned, are not wet. You want to know why that is?
Because they didn't actually die.
Tim Burton felt that keeping the actors wet all the time would just be too uncomfortable. We have a movie filmed at sea where they were stuck on a boat the whole time of filming, barfing over the deck because they're getting seasick. And you're like,
Titanic?
No, what's the one that Ron Howard did with one of the
Waterworld.
Hemsworths where they're at sea?
Life of
you know that
Pi.
came out like a year or two ago?
The Grinch.
Yeah.
47 meters down.
Yes, all those are great.
The Meg.
Anyway, and they couldn't be bothered.
Ron Howard directed The Meg.
That would be amazing.
It's so not him.
Anyway, all the people. Oh,
The Shape of Water.
Yes, that was it. The Shape of Water. They're on a boat the whole time. And
The Life of
waters have
Pi.
shapes.
Lady in the Water.
Oh my gosh.
Castaway.
Poseidon.
Castaway.
Isn't the Final Countdown
The Perfect Storm.
a movie where they're on a boat the whole time?
2012.
2012. They do get on a boat at some point in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the criteria.
Moana.
It's a naval film. They're on a boat at some point.
Moana, those people were so uncomfortable the entire time they shot that.
Yeah, that was awful.
yeah.
So Beetlejuice was the first DVD ever sent out on Netflix in 1998.
Really?
Yep.
That's the first thing someone ordered.
First thing someone ordered was a Beetlejuice.
Could we get that person on the podcast?
It was the 10-year anniversary. What do you expect?
Oh, okay.
1998. Michael Keaton, playing the title character, only appears in 17 and a half minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the dinner party, Ortho states that people who commit suicide end up as civil servants in the afterlife. This is actually expanded on in the film. The civil servant ghosts Adam and Barbara meet are people who appear to have ended their own lives. The receptionist, as we said, committed suicide by slashing her wrists. There's a man who hung himself, and the crushed messenger is implied to have done it himself. I don't remember
jumped
him.
off a building or
I
something.
guess. I don't know. Juno looks normal, but there are scars on her neck that indicate she cut her own throat. I thought it was supposed to be a joke about her smoking too much.
Yeah.
But I guess she killed herself because she's a civil worker. Beetlejuice is said to have been a civil worker. We already talked about this. I kind of did that already.
Excommunicated for his radical ways.
I guess so. Tim Burton feared the Deo sequence wouldn't go over well since his opinion is it wasn't very funny. But it turned out to be wrong because audiences loved it and think it was one of the best parts of the film.
I'm with Tim Burton.
Tim
on that
Burton
one.
is with us. Joe is with the masses.
Yeah.
He's a masshole.
masses.
Sellout.
He's a masshole. The title character is named for a bright red star in the constellation of Orion.
Yeah.
There you go.
I actually did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The visual effects budget, like I said, was only $1 million. Alec Baldwin dislikes the film and is very unhappy with his performance.
His performance isn't great.
No, it's not great, but this is his least favorite film he's ever done. He's done some stinkers.
Yeah, he's been in some really bad. He was
Yeah.
in Boss
So Fun
Baby.
with Dick and Jane was better than this one.
Was he in that movie?
Yeah, he was the boss.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Boss Baby?
He was also the boss in that one.
So Kirstie Alley was the first
He was
choice.
also the baby in that one.
He was the baby in that one. Kirstie Alley was the first choice for the role of Barbara, but the producers of Cheers wouldn't let her out of her contract to take the role. Sigourney Weaver, Goldie Hawn, Laura Dern, and Linda Hamilton were all also considered. Those would be some very weird choices. Like Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, that'd
you're
be
known
really
for
weird.
Terminator.
Sigourney
Weaver, Alien. You have Goldie Hawn. It's like that one. And then Laura Dern. What was she doing at that time?
Probably some.
Getting ready for Jurassic Park?
No, what's his name? I love him.
Sam Neill?
No, he's one of my favorite.
Jeff Goldblum.
One of my favorite directors.
John Hammond.
Coppola.
He did some David Lynch stuff.
David
she was
Fincher.
she was doing David Lynch stuff.
David Lynch.
Yeah.
David Lyncher.
Yeah, David Lyncher. David Flincher.
Was she
so
in
she was
David
doing
Lynch stuff?
David Lynch's
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
What did she do with Laura? What did Laura
She was
Dern
in
do?
Lost Highway, and she.
Did she find it?
No, they never found it.
Oh man, that's a
Damn.
sad
You
story.
would hate that movie.
I probably would hate that
Yeah.
movie.
They don't find it.
They just don't find it.
Yeah, they
It's
don't
so uncathartic.
You'd be like, why is it called Lost Highway? I can't find.
I can't
the highway.
find the damn highway.
Yeah.
Adam's black and white checkered shirt. Oh, the shirt he wears that Beetlejuice makes fun of him
Oh,
for.
like that plaid shirt?
Yeah, as the same one worn by Tom Selleck in 3 Men and a Baby. 3 Men and a Baby is a great movie, by the way. I love that movie.
It's a movie I've never seen.
Yeah, I've never
Really?
seen it either.
Tom Selleck, the dude, oh no, what's his name? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Alec Baldwin.
No.
Rick Moranis.
Rick
Rick
Moranis.
Moranis.
Alec
And
Baldwin.
then the other guy, Ted Danson, I think.
Oh.
Maybe Ted Danson. I
I
don't
like
know.
Ted Danson.
It was a funny movie. Anyway,
Tony Danza.
Have you seen the sequel? 3 Babies and a Man.
actually, there is a sequel. I don't remember what it's called, but it's something stupid like that.
Oh, man.
Like 3 Women and a Baby, or like 3 Men and More Babies, or something like that. Yeah.
More babies.
At one point, Tim Burton considered Arnold Schwarzenegger for the role of Beetlejuice.
That would have been horrible.
However, the
Yeah.
Geffen Company felt that due to Schwarzenegger's reputation at the time as an action star, people wouldn't take it seriously. But Burton approached Schwarzenegger anyway. He turned it down because he was busy shooting The Running Man.
No
way.
The Running Man. Hey, Charlie Shaw. That dude
What up,
really
Charlie
wants
Shaw?
us to love The Running Man. Especially Cam. It's like his goal in life to get Cam to like The Running Man, or to prove that it's not just that it's campy that is why you don't like it. Because he was commenting on our thing the other day about you have to watch Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, and he actually wrote in a question that we'll talk about on Around a Round Table too about some stuff.
Charlie, I don't like it.
I really
Stop trying to make fetch happen, Charlie.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
I really like how interactive Charlie is, though.
Oh, he's so interactive on this.
Please keep chiming in.
I know, I love it. Here's a future episode. I had this written down. Animated series was made.
Oh, I did know that.
That
I
ran
remember
like 3
that.
seasons
I
or 4
watched that.
seasons.
I watched that.
So we have to revisit that.
The
for this
animation
podcast.
style's
Do we,
cool,
though?
actually.
No, we do. We do.
Yeah.
At the time the movie was made, the reputation of the 240 series Volvos was that of the safest car in the world. Purportedly, no one had ever been killed in a Volvo of that series and vintage. The fact that Adam and Barbara died in one was a huge joke to Volvo owners and other car-savvy viewers. All 4 people that would have gotten that joke watching this movie.
Like, haha.
I love Volvos and Beetlejuice.
Yeah. It's like
that Venn diagram is not...
I never died in my Volvo. Haha. What a funny joke.
Great joke. Burton wanted Sammy Davis Jr. for the title role. It's already talked about that. A tropical set sequel was planned. Warner Brothers was pressuring Burton for a sequel to this hit film, and Burton shot back with the idea of letting Beetlejuice unleash his mischief on a Hawaiian island. It was called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Mischief.
Mischief. You know, when I talk too much, and I talk a lot on this podcast,
Yeah, you do,
I kind of take over here, and I
You
apologize
you
for
talk
that.
on this one way more than
I do,
Around
because
the Round Table.
I have the script in front of me with all the stuff, you know, so I'm trying to like convey
No, but it's
all
totally
the research.
fine. Just the way this one works.
But when I talk too much, I start messing words up a lot. Mischief.
Did you stray away from saying mispronunciate
Mispronounce
or mispronounce? And you were just like I don't say them right.
I mispronounce.
Mas pronounce.
Mas pronounce. More pronounce, please. So anyway, let's get into a segment here called Conspiracy Corner. That's real quiet.
Yeah, it is.
You want to know why it's real quiet? There we go. And now it's back down to being quiet. Okay.
Nice.
So this is Conspiracy Corner, where we're going to talk about some conspiracy theories out there on the internet because, you know, that's the thing the internet does for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Reddit was invented. That and, like, weird porn things.
That's why the internet was invented.
That is true.
And weird porn things.
Yep.
What is it, Rule 32 or Rule 34? Rule 34, yeah. For those of you that don't know, Rule 34 of the internet is...
If it exists, there's porn of it.
Yep, and it's actually true. Go to rule34.com or .net or .biz, I don't remember.
.gov.
.biz. Yeah, .gov. .edu, because it's for educational purposes.
Yeah, that's why I use it.
So the first conspiracy is that this was a murder, not a death.
What?
That's right.
From the dog?
Kinda. It's Jane the realtor, who is actually their cousin, I guess, canonically. Maybe that's why she got the rights to the house to be able to sell it.
Maybe.
Oh, she's their cousin.
Yeah. So Jane the realtor murdered Adam and Barbara. She needed the commission, and it stated that several times she bugged them to sell it. They die almost immediately after she's there. She knows that they're nice people and put the dog in, because that dog was not a stray. It was way too well kept.
Yeah, it was a
That
nice
was probably
dog.
her dog. She put in the way to get them to turn out of the way to kill them. It would explain why they don't move on and are stuck haunting the house because of foul play. Like like when a death, something
natural.
Yeah, a natural death,
you
they just
pass on.
move on. But when it's like weird foul play, it's like they haunt it because they have to like
They have
fix
unfinished
it.
business.
Unfinished business. That would explain it. So that's one.
Unbusinessed finishes.
Yep, I love unbusiness finishes. That's what all those.
That's the next wrestling move. The unbusiness finisher.
The unbusiness finisher. It's what all the traveling salesmen do. Never mind. So another conspiracy is that Beetlejuice isn't dead. First off, because he dies when the sandworm gets him, and he goes to the death waiting room.
He just looks like that?
So here's the thing. First off, when he went to the death waiting room, that was an added sequence after the fact. So it wasn't part of the original story, which is probably why it doesn't make sense in that area. But we know of only 2 ways you get to the death waiting room. You end up there by dying, or you go there yourself when you make a little door thing.
Right.
So it suggests that was his first time dying for going there. I don't know. We don't have all the universal things going on here, but
what if he actually is a demon and they killed the demon with the worm, and so he died?
Could be, because here's another thing, is they say we don't see any other dead people ever eating except for Beetlejuice.
He does
It's
eat.
'cause
He eats a beetle.
Yep.
And he eats
Juice.
something. Well, no, he eats something. Oh, the fly.
Yeah, he eats a
Which
beetle
was
and some juice.
Which was a reference to the movie The Fly that Gina Davis was in.
That was the reference that they chose.
Yeah, a fly. That goes. It was the same fly actually
From The Fly.
From Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that fly.
Oh, too late.
And then finally, they're saying Beetlejuice is alive but a living among the dead because of a curse.
Right.
And he needs to get married to a living person to be brought back to the land of the living. So they're saying that's like the thing. Whatever. I don't know. Do what you want to do, internet. Haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potato. What if this house is actually a weird dimensional hell on Earth? So let's think about it. The rules don't make sense there.
No.
A lot of things are odd there and off. Bizarre things keep happening.
Yeah.
Everyone is stuck in their own personal hell. Not their own personal Jesus, their own personal hell. Lydia is depressed and alone and gets taken away from New York where she feels she fit in but doesn't here.
Yeah.
Delia is away from her societal friends.
Yeah.
Charles can't get the rest he so desperately wants.
Right.
The Matlins couldn't have a kid and are now stuck in an empty giant house that reminds them that they never got to have a family. It just seems that everyone in this is stuck in some personal hell.
It's not a bad theory, to be honest.
Maybe this house is just a weird dimensional hell that the lizard people live in.
Ooh.
Speaking of a fly, there was a fly on my paper. Okay, that's all I have.
Was that your reference to The Fly?
That was my reference to The Fly. No, my reference to The Fly was the hour-long episode I did in Breaking Bad about a fly.
Yeah.
Oh, worst episode ever.
People think it's the best episode.
Are you what?
Yeah, it's rated
How?
top 5 episodes. It's rated.
Get out of here.
I'm not
It's
joking.
the worst episode in the entire series.
It's boring.
I like that episode.
Do you like that episode?
Why?
Because it's shot so differently than the rest
That's
of the
why
series.
people
and
love
it's amazing.
it. It's because it's a real different, unique episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's surprisingly this lasted. I had 5 pages of notes, which is more than I ever have, and it lasted just as long as every other episode we did. Was I talking really fast or
Yes.
something? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
Maybe slow this one down to like halftime to
Oh, yeah,
get me
that'd be
to
fun.
talk normal.
By the way, if you do that, if you slow the time on us, it'll sound like we're drunk.
Yeah. Actually, let's all talk real slow and then have them slow it down even more and let's see what it sounds like. Hey, guys.
What's up?
What did you think of Beetlejuice?
Now let's do the other way so they can speed it up twice. Hey guys, what are you doing? I'm really going over there. Do you want to get out so we can over something in my butt?
Question, do we have to make her voice high?
That's true. It's
I'm going to
comes
talk a
with the
lot faster
process.
if I'm not doing the voice. I can talk way
That's true.
way faster.
We're going for the suction here. We got $75. $75 man in the back with the
Did you say we got the suction
We got
there?
the suction there. We got the suction there.
We got the suction there. We got the suction here. We got the suction over there. It's only $75. We got all the suction you want.
Sold to the man in the blue shirt.
Here's your suction. Have you ever seen the video of auctioneers doing their like auctioning to rap music? Or, like, to the rap
Oh, yeah,
beats?
yeah.
I have. That's so good. But you can go check out the show notes if you want to see where to contact us. Otherwise, go to wreckmypodcast.com. You can buy some stuff on our Redbubble store. You can go to our Patreon where you can subscribe to that. It's fun. I send you things.
It's fun.
I send you things if you get a tier that's higher up. I just sent Brian Breaker from the Breaker and Baines
You
Power
sent him
Hour.
a really cool little toy.
I sent him
Yeah.
a Mario figure that's in the flame suit with the little fire
Fire flower.
Yeah, fire flower. Because he does a podcast called Back to the Nintendo, and I know he likes Nintendo stuff. So
Yeah, definitely.
see if you're a Patreon, we'll give you stuff.
Yeah,
We'll
you
help
get
out
exclusive content.
Exclusive
Comes out every
content.
single Friday.
every week.
This coming week has like trivia in it and all sorts
Yeah,
of stuff.
this week's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so
dope.
pay at least $1 and you get it.
It's only $1.
It's $1.
I got you $1.
Also,
got you
when you're at
$1.
wreckmypodcast.com, click that Amazon banner at the top.
Amazon banner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ashley is the one who's doing all
She
this
is.
stuff.
She told me.
Okay, because I was gonna say it's a lot of dog grooming stuff.
Yeah.
and it's also a lot of horror films.
Yes.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I think this is Ashley.
Yeah.
So
when
thank
when
you,
I hung out
Ashley.
with her like a week ago. She was like, I can't believe none of you guessed it was me. It was dog stuff and horror stuff.
I
And
thought
was
it
like,
was.
Well, because no, you didn't mention the horror stuff.
Well, the
All you
horror
said
stuff
was
just
dog
came in
stuff.
later. Like it was all dog stuff only, and then the horror stuff came in later. And we got $6 from her actually already.
Hey.
So hey, it works. It's a thing. Help us out. Finally, thank you to Ben from Petrified Gumbo Music for making our amazing song. If you need songs made, hit them up, petrifyinggoblin.music.com. We have episodes themed like this come out every Wednesday. Next week is either going to be the Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot or Trick or Treat. Not sure yet. Come back for that. We'll find out. Also, Mondays, we have a round table where we talk about everything and nothing. Go check that out. Saturdays, every other Saturday so far, we've been doing Wreck My Taste Buds.
Yeah.
You want to know what the next one's going to be? I'm waiting for Kreger to be here. Mystery Oreos. I saw them at the store today. I bought them. We're going to try them out.
The mystery flavor is clam.
Oh, that was
Oyster. What kind of episode is that?
It's a minuscule muncher.
Yeah!
I like to say bite-sized. But
Minuscule
Cam came up
muncher.
with a minuscule muncher, which is funnier, I guess.
Only because you said bite-sized so much.
I said bite-sized so many
It's
times.
got the munchies and crunchies.
It does have the munchies and crunchies. With that, thank you to my guests for being here. I like to thank Kreger for having a life. And finally, thank you to our listeners.
Yeah.
I love getting wrecked with you. Okay, bye.
Bye, I love you.
I love you all.
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
Okay, I believe you.